Welcome back. It's another week in Wisconsin dominated by presidential headlines. Now, tomorrow, President Biden will be in Madison, coinciding this past Tuesday with a visit by former President Donald Trump to Green Bay.
I'm thrilled to be back in Wisconsin with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. You built this country.
So why the focus here in Wisconsin? We're breaking this down on the Republican side with Trump campaign spokesperson Karoline Leavitt. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So this marks the first time that the former president has visited Wisconsin in this 2024 campaign. Why now?
Well, the campaign is underway. President Trump officially locked up the nomination just more than 20 days ago. And so he's been hitting the road. He was in Wisconsin and Michigan, and he will definitely be back. Wisconsin is an incredibly important state to the 2024 election. And we are very excited that the president is leading Joe Biden in the polls in Wisconsin. This is one of the states that propelled President Trump to his historic victory over Hillary Clinton in 2016. The people there are near and dear to his heart. And he understands that Joe Biden's policies have hurt the great people of Wisconsin and every state across this country, whether it's Joe Biden's tax and spend policies and his economic agenda that has been robbing the great people of Wisconsin of nearly $1,000 every single month just to have the same quality of life as they did under President Trump's leadership, whether it's Joe Biden's open border policies that has led to an increase in migrant crime and illegal immigrants in states like Wisconsin. Every state has become a border state. And that's why President Trump is running and fighting again to solve the problems and to cure the crises that Joe Biden's policies have created.
Now, you mentioned the polls. Speaking of, in Wisconsin, we had that presidential primary. Now, Trump won Tuesday's primary, but with less than 80% of the vote. How do you find a home for some of those voters who supported other candidates like Nikki Haley, for example?
Well, as I just said, we did just come out of a contentious primary. However, we are seeing Republicans come home, and when they are faced with a binary choice on the ballot on November the 5th between President Trump, who secured our border, had the greatest economy in American history, rebuilt our military, restored peace around this world, versus Joe Biden, who has brought the United States and the world, frankly, nothing but chaos and division. We're very confident that Republicans and independents and even disillusioned Democrats who realize we cannot have 4 more years of Joe Biden's policies will come back and vote for President Trump. We're reaching out to all Americans who want to make this country great again. And I would also add that in terms of the results in Wisconsin on Tuesday, there were nearly 8% of the Democrat vote that voted uninstructed rather than voting for Joe Biden when he has not had a primary at all. That shows you that it's Joe Biden who has a real enthusiasm problem amongst the Democrat base right now. In fact, more than 70% of Democrats nationwide wish that they had another option on the ballot. That is not the case for President Trump. Republicans are unified behind him. And again, we will continue to reach out to independents and common sense Americans of any party that want to be part of this movement to secure our borders and rebuild our economy and make America respected again on the world stage.
So you've seen in Wisconsin a big kind of fundraising disparity between Democrats and Republicans, with Democrats outraising Republicans. How do you make up that difference?
Mm-hmm. Well, nationwide right now, our fundraising is exploding. President Trump and the RNC just announced that in the month of March, we raised more than $65 million. That is very exciting, but we're more excited about the fact that our campaign is fueled by grassroots donors across this great country. Our average donation online is $4. We are significantly outpacing Joe Biden's campaign when it comes to those small dollar donations, and that tells us that we are fueled by the people of this country who want to make a change, while Joe Biden's campaign is fueled by out-of-touch elitists and Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and billionaires who ultimately won't make up enough votes on Election Day. So we have more than enough resources to fuel this movement that President Trump has created, and we'll continue to use those resources to reach out to every voter across this country.
So President Biden will be in Madison this coming week, tomorrow actually. What should Wisconsinites expect from that trip?
Well, Wisconsinites should ask Joe Biden what he plans to do to curb his record high inflation crisis that he has created. That, again, is robbing Wisconsinites $880 every single month. Joe Biden should ask, or the Wisconsinites should ask Joe Biden what he plans to do to curb the fentanyl overdose that is plaguing your great state. In fact, since 2019, under Joe Biden's leadership, there's been a 97% increase in fentanyl overdoses in the great state of Wisconsin, Wisconsinites should also ask Joe Biden what he plans to do to demand law and order, because in 2023, it was the deadliest year on record for the Wisconsin police force statewide. And so President Trump understands that all these problems have been created because of Joe Biden's policies, and he's the only person in this race who is actually putting forth real solutions to solve them, real solutions to secure our southern border, to demand law and order, make sure our law enforcement are respected again around this country, and to also rebuild our economy, bring down inflation, and bring down gas prices as he did in his first term.
Karoline Leavitt, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
When we come back, a rezoning plan for the city's west side has sparked wide controversy. We'll sit down with our reporter who's been covering the long and contentious community meetings when we come back.